case in it.
No, that's fine. I'm very discreet.
Right, here we go. So then double check once you move it. 52, 50. No, it still needs to be a bit more. So what you see I'm doing, I'm moving this end and then moving it straight. The truth is that in the cutting, the weave isn't square. But I'm going to ignore that. Right, let's see where that is. Right, 52 and 2 mil. Let's take that back a bit. There. There we go.
Or always wear stripes.
Or, well, with stripes, within reason, I'll follow the stripes because the eye will make it look wrong if you don't. So stripes can work for you as well as be a pain. So you just have to work with them. 52, 52. Hi Paul, come and sit down. So what we have is the folded edge is parallel with the selvage edge, and this selvage edge is equidistant from the other selvage edge. Yeah? Okay. Right, now to lay the pattern, these pattern pieces have got seam allowance on them. The centre front will go to the fold because it's got a folded edge on it. And take yourself a seat. Now this is where we see if I guessed right the folded line. I think so. Close. Take it down. Okay. Some people say, should I have the selvage edge? We can lift this up a bit so that the two wide parts aren't next to each other. Should I use the selvage edge? And the only thing I can say is it depends on the selvage edge. The one thing you don't want to do is machine on it. So the stitch line isn't on the selvage edge. But sometimes it's quite nice to have that finish line inside, especially if you've got two selvage edges coming out. And also, this isn't tight and heavy. So I leave it up to you in the sense that, actually I'm going to take this up a bit more, give me more room. Yeah, I leave it up to you, because if I can remember in the past when I used to make lots of nice straight skirts, I wanted to keep, if it's a good wool, you want to keep the finished edge because it's always pretty. They sometimes put a golden thread through and they go 100% wool or whatever. So I tend to keep it. Right, can you see what I've done? Because at its maximum width, the hips don't go together. I've simply shifted one up. Right, reminder when pinning, keep the paper and the fabric flat. You've got an extra line here, needs cutting off.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's all right, I'll get rid of that.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. And that's your cut edge now. There we go. Right, so I've pinned top and bottom, keeping the paper flat and making sure we've got fabric underneath. I'm just going to pin, not a lot of pins, enough to hold it still and flat. You don't need to skewer it to the ground. Right, okay, and I'm going to move this away from the selvage edge enough so that we can cut it. And this is the grain line parallel with the selvage edge, yeah? I've done it by eye, I shouldn't do, but the gap between the edge of the paper and the selvage is exactly the same all the way down, yeah? So pin the centre back first because that's securing your grain line in the same way as I pin the centre front first, and then keep the paper flat and the calico flat and put in your pins. Right, I'll pin the rest. Right, this one centre back, we need 2 of those. This one centre front, we need 2 of these. So 1 and then another one. And here, centre back, we just need the 1. So what I'm going to do is put this one up high. Again, line it up with the selvage. So the straight line of the centre back is parallel with the straight edge of the selvage. Right. I'm going to pin what I pin. I'll leave you some work to do, don't worry. The only one I'm going to cut out in the class is this front piece. Right, line this up. You can go quite close. Depends how much you want to save fabric. Make sure with these small pieces that it doesn't go skew width, because it can happen. Right, so this one is going to be picked up and cut there as well. And this one is going to be picked up and cut here. And on what you haven't got is a waistband. So the waistband, when you cut it, can go along here on the single layer.
What waistband?
The straight?
Doesn't have a waistband.
It's the shaped one.
No. Oh yeah, of course. Right, okay, yes, wasn't thinking. Alright, has someone got, sigh of relief. Right, has someone got some decent, oh no, these will be alright. Right, when you come to cut out, hold the paper flat and keep close to the paper. Don't pick this up, alright? On the centre front, mark with a tiny nip the centre front position, because that centre front nip will match here. Everything, and then we've got the balance mark here, and we've got each side of the dart, and we've got the seam allowance. Because these scissors aren't as sharp as they should be.
Want to use mine?
Oh, if you've got a pair better than these, please. Because then I can demonstrate how well I keep the material flat. I think the main thing I'm doing is keeping my hand on the paper. The reason I'm noticing these scissors aren't that sharp is that when you go to do the nip, I can't do it with the point, and that's the reason, thank you, that's the reason I lifted the fabric up. With scissors. Right, there we go. Leave that, that's for you to worry about. Now, at the side here, we need to know where the hemline is, where the stitch line is again, and it's quite useful to do the hip. Not great big snips, look, I've only turned it slightly, yeah? And then the last thing we need to do is mark where the tip of the dart is, alright? Now what I do, I put a pin in like this, take the paper away. I'm not taking it all away because I want you to, and then on the other side, where the pin goes through, I mark it with another pin. You can, where the pin goes through, put a biro mark like that, yeah? But there's no need, because what you're going to do by securing the point, we're saying that where the pin goes in is the point of the dart, and the pin, no, that's fine, where it's facing the top. Then when you come to sew the dart, you would fold notch to notch where the dart is, Yeah? I'm going to pin it because it's easier for you to see. And then where the point of the pin is, I'm going to turn the pin round so that it denotes that's where you stop sewing. So if you're at all unsure about doing a straight line, you can draw a line from the top of the dart to the bottom like that to give you a guideline. Can you see what I've done? Yeah? Can you see that? I don't mind. This is calico, this is a 12, this isn't a fancy thing. You don't have to worry about marking it with fabric pencil. Just stick a biro on it, yeah? But if you feel confident that you can machine a straight line from where that notch is, yeah, to where you've marked that the machine comes off because that's the end of the dart, then you don't need to draw it, yeah? Now I'll do the other side as well. So again, facing the way the dart goes in the machine, so the dart's going to go in from the widest point and disappear off at the narrowest point. If it helps, put a pin at the top and then turn the pin round at the bottom so you can see where it disappears. So it comes from the notch and disappears in a straight line. But fold it so that when you fold it, it's not a twist in it, everything is smooth and flat. Yeah? Does everyone want to see this? Just pass it round. I just put one pin in the middle so that you can then take it back. Right, everybody have a look.